In a quiet workshop, an old watchmaker sits at a wooden table. The room smells of metal and oil. Small tools are laid out with care. A clock lies open in front of him. Its gears are exposed, delicate, precise. A young apprentice stands nearby, watching closely. Every few seconds, the apprentice reaches forward. He adjusts a gear, straightens a spring, touches what is already moving. The watchmaker says nothing at first. He simply observes. Eventually, he gently places his hand over the apprentice's. "Stop," he says softly. They wait. The gears continue turning on their own, slowly, steadily. "You keep interrupting the movement," the watchmaker says. "Not because it's broken, but because you don't trust it to work without you." The apprentice steps back. His hands feel restless, almost empty. The clock keeps time. The need for control often doesn't feel like control. It feels like involvement, like care, like staying engaged with life. Many of us grow up learning that attention equals responsibility, that letting go means neglect, that if we don't keep adjusting things, they will drift into chaos. So we intervene. We intervene in our own thoughts, in other people's emotions, in situations that haven't fully formed yet. We edit ourselves in real time. We monitor reactions. We correct tone, timing, posture, intention. Even when nothing is clearly wrong, we feel the impulse to adjust. This is how control becomes a habit, not a decision, but a posture toward life. Taoism doesn't see this as a moral problem. It sees it as tension created by mistrust. Mistrust of the natural flow, mistrust of timing, mistrust of ourselves. At the center of control is a quiet belief. Things cannot be allowed to unfold as they are. So we stay close, too close, like the apprentice touching every moving gear. We interrupt processes that already know how to move. This shows up in subtle ways, trying to manage how a conversation will end before it has truly begun, trying to decide how we should feel instead of noticing how we actually feel, trying to resolve uncertainty immediately, even when it needs time. Control narrows our field of attention. It pulls us out of the present and into imagined futures. The body feels this before the mind understands it. Shoulders remain slightly lifted, breath stays shallow. The jaw tightens without awareness. Even in rest, there is a background vigilance. Taoism calls attention to a different kind of strength, a strength that does not come from constant correction, but from alignment. When life is aligned, it moves with less resistance. Water does not argue with gravity. Trees do not hurry their growth. Night does not struggle to become morning. Human beings, however, often resist what is already happening. We resist aging. We resist uncertainty. We resist emotions that do not fit our plans. Control becomes our way of pushing back, but pushing requires effort. And effort, when sustained, becomes fatigue. This is why the need for control often leads to a quiet exhaustion. Not burnout, not collapse, just a steady sense of inner tightness. Taoism introduces the idea of wu-wei, effortless action. Again, this does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what is needed, without adding unnecessary force. The watchmaker still repairs the clock, but he does not interrupt every movement. He knows when to act and when to allow. Control, when driven by fear, does not know this difference. It acts too early, too often, too much. It assumes intervention is always safer than patience. But patience reveals something important. Many things resolve themselves when we stop interfering. Emotions pass, confusion clarifies, situations evolve. Not all, but many. Letting go of control can feel like standing without armor. At first it feels irresponsible. There is a moment of discomfort, a sense of exposure. The mind asks, what if something goes wrong? What if I miss something important? What if this costs me? These questions are natural. They don't need to be answered. They need to be noticed. Taoism does not argue with fear. It observes it. Fear tightens. Trust opens. Trust does not mean believing everything will go well. It means believing you can respond when needed. There is a quiet confidence in that. When control softens, attention returns to the present moment. Not to manage it, but to inhabit it. You begin to feel the difference between true necessity and anxious interference. You act when action is required, and you rest when it is not. This creates space. Space in the mind, space in the body, space in relationships. Others feel less managed around you. You feel less burdened inside yourself. Life does not become predictable, but it becomes more breathable. Laozi wrote that those who try to control the world lose it, and those who let it be find their place within it. This is not advice. It is an observation. Control fractures experience. Trust integrates it. and trust grows slowly, through small acts of allowing a pause before responding, allowing silence without filling it, allowing uncertainty to remain unresolved. Each time you do not interfere unnecessarily, something settles, not dramatically, quietly, like a clock that keeps time once hands stop reaching into its gears. You don't need to stop caring. You don't need to step away from life. Just notice where you are adjusting what is already moving. Notice the habit of interruption. Some things need your hands, others only need your patience. When you learn the difference, life becomes less heavy, and movement, once again, finds its own rhythm. If you choose to follow this channel, it truly helps me keep creating and improving these reflections. And if not, that's completely okay. I'm grateful you spent this time here. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Until then, I wish you a calm and peaceful day.